For centuries, humanity has searched for one question: where do we come from? Long before laboratories, before microscopes, before DNA and genetics, there were thinkers who dared to imagine that life was changing. In ancient Greece, philosophers questioned whether humans were once connected to the sea. During the Islamic Golden Age, scholars observed animals struggling to survive, adapting to their environment, fighting for existence, fighting for existence. And centuries later, one man would gather these scattered ideas and transform them into a theory that changed science forever: Charles Darwin.
But even today, evolution remains one of the most discussed and misunderstood topics in human history. Did humans really evolve from apes? What exactly is natural selection? And were the roots of evolutionary thinking already planted long before Darwin was born? Today, we travel through history, from ancient philosophers to groundbreaking scientific theories, to the fascinating connection between humans and other living beings. This is Before Darwin, the thinkers who imagined evolution first.
Well, they say it's not rocket science. Well, this actually is.
Welcome back to the Rocket Science Podcast. I'm Jasmine.
And I'm Jack, yeah.
So let's stop this,
Evolution, actually.
let's start this evolution discussion. So let's dive into this. So I'm gonna start this because it's kind of crazy, to whenever we mention about evolution, the first name most people remember is Charles Darwin.
Charles Darwin, yeah.
Right. So what if we go deeper than him, like going back to the past, and let's find out who even trying to this ideas of evolution theories. Where did this come from first? So what do you think about this?
Well, I think the idea and the theory that Darwin first introduced, well, it's not actually first, but he established to a very scientific level and to the global reach as well. So the idea was very fascinating to think about. And that's the question we've already asked before. Where did we come from? How do we became? Since from the start of the Big Bang to the animals, from the dinosaur age to the Stone Age, that every time when humans get evolved on Earth. So we didn't actually know where do we come from exactly. We don't have enough evidence to provide these theories, but the recorded evidence have suggested that there may be a chance of the evolution in humans and animals, but the connection is yet to be found.
Yes, I mean, Charles Darwin's only appeared in 19th centuries. He gathered all the data, and he made this scientific proof. That's how he showed, and that's how he started blown up, like with the evidence and everything. Everybody's like, wow, this is it. Because he showed public with the evidence, like this, about this natural selection and about this evolutions and everything. He even published a book, about the origin of species. So that was quite famous. The book was quite famous. So, and also another fact, you were right that he wasn't the first person to ever discover about this evolution theories. There used to be philosophers, the early known philosopher and thinkers, who started these ideas of evolutions. So if we go back to 6th centuries, it's 25,000 years ago, to like ancient Greeks. In there's one important figure whose name is Anaximander. He is from Greece. He's also a philosopher. He suggested that humans and animals has a connection, and he even suggested that humans might evolve from fish-like creatures. Because he strongly believed that the life on Earth start from water, because there's a moist. The water is the proof of life. If there's water, then it's possible there used to be life. That's how he connected, and he planted the early thinkings of these ideas. You know, the first ever theory that he started that, and then after him, there is another person. It I think it's in Islamic Golden Age. You know, there is this one important figure whose name is El Jahiz. He is from 9th century. Yeah, he's from 9th centuries, and it was a time where everybody's, you know, was exploring these interesting facts and interesting theories, and he was among one of them. You know, so he's a philosopher. He's not a philosopher. He's a scholar actually. He's a scholar from Basra, and he studied these animals, this behavior, and you know, these humans, and also environmental behavior, and that's according to him, there is like his idea is kind of a lot similar with the natural selection which Darwin's approved. That's quite fascinating too, because these people existed long before and their thinking is always ahead of time. You know, that's quite interesting.
Yeah, the philosophers in ancient Greece and Islamic Golden Age are they are quite have a lot of influence to our since today's ages. The theories that they made, the equations in the mathematical equation as well. They have formulated a lot of important thing and necessary thing for today's age.
Yeah.
It was amazing how they think of these things without these technical capabilities and advanced tools. So for turn back to the evolution and natural selection thing, in order to understand that, then we have to go back, way back, to the Big Bang. You know,
That's the start.
Yeah, this is the start of everything. Well, we all know that we came from Big Bang, although we don't have quite visible evidence of that, but we can assume that we came from Big Bang. That is quite a lot of scientists believe that. Until we find a better theory, we have to believe this one. Until we find a better theory, right? We have to believe in Big Bang. So the Big Bang, the universe already contained the materials that is needed for life. We are made of light. Most universe is mostly made of carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. Those three materials are the most important thing for life. Humans, we also made of these things. So they already have contained these. They just need. They are waiting for the perfect environment, perfect situation, perfect atmosphere to become life from these materials. So when they came to Earth, we basically came from the universe to Earth. That's why the animals exist in here on Earth. The Earth doesn't have creatures or life itself. The universe provided it. We came from the universe. So these life came to the Earth and they found a perfect situation on Earth. The atmosphere, the temperature, you know, everything is perfect for life. So the life just began in water. Yeah. Because the thing that I don't know how they think in the ancient time that that life should start from water, but in these age we can explain why we should start only from water.
Of course, we have lots of evidence. And
we have lots of evidence because it was the time that the Earth was newly formed. The Earth is new, and the sun is also new. The sun is emitting lots of radiation on Earth. It was very strong, stronger than today's sunlight. It's very strong. Like normal life cannot survive on land, so it has to only survive in water because the water acts like as a barrier between the sunlight. The sunlight cannot directly emit into the water. Right? It reduces the intensity, so it cannot directly hit the animals in water. So the life has to start only from water, not on land.
Yeah, that's what you know, Asian philosophers said about it.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know how they think. They won't know about these light emitting the gamma rays radiation. They won't know about that.
Yeah.
I don't know how they think of these stuff.
That's why that's quite brilliant, because Asian philosophers has this unique style of thinking that is way ahead of their time. But Charles Darwin, on the other hand, he gathered lots of data. In his time he got like enough materials, you know, to prove this. And we even had like DNA tests. We can do lots of things, and we can identify just by doing the DNA test and which fossils is which, you know. So that's how we recognize, and we can go back to history and, you know, bring out the possibility of life. But in the ancient time, there is nothing like that.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that we can, we can
Appreciate
we
them.
can appreciate their thinkings, because of their thinkings, their ideas, their theories. That's why it brings out the best theories of Charles Darwin. But most of the people, especially most of the people, only think like whenever some theories came out, it only came from Europe, but it's not, because it used to be there. There are so many people around the world, like North Africa and the Middle East and then Asia, and they started thinking. They all have this theories of, making spreading knowledge to other people, and that's where these data and these facts came from. And Europeans are also good at thinking about this. So, but Charles Darwin, on the other hand, he is mostly influenced by these European thinkers, mostly because he's from that Europe. So that's his. I'm quite fascinated by his discovery of natural selection, because that's where science and religions coexist. So
Yeah, you can say that.
yeah, you can say that, because if we forget about like humans and animals connection, like where do we came from? If we forget about it, and if we only focus on about animals and the natural selections, how the earth is formed and everything is changing, so that is believable. Natural selection is believable.
Yeah, the natural selection, like is like the nature itself is select which animal should survive, which animal should not survive. For the biggest example is the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs used to survive for millions of years. They have ruled the earth for millions of years, but they went extinct because of the asteroid, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's the nature as well. The nature itself put down on these animals because
I think that's also another theory. Like asteroid hit the earth is another theory.
Yeah, I don't know what they are still discussing about where these asteroids came from, or is there any other alternative way that they have made. So the point is, the dinosaurs are not capable, or not is not compatible for the humans. It's not compatible for human survival. If the dinosaur existed with the humans age, the humans were all dead. If dinosaurs are extremely huge, they will eat everything. They will destroy everything. So they had to go extinct for humans to survive. So back in that time, the humans were not even formed yet in dinosaur era. After that, the humans started to form. So the nature selected for human survival, for the benefit of the humans, and at the same time, the dinosaurs extinct and it changed to another species, somewhat like.
Yeah.
That's the biggest theory of the dinosaur is a chicken, right?
Okay, but let's be as a theory, because there is no proof about that.
There is no proof, but during the natural selection occurs, like it gradually changed throughout these millions of years. It didn't automatically change suddenly. Like for example, like a fish suddenly changed into a crawling animal on land. It cannot suddenly change. It's gradually. It takes millions of years to change that. At first, it starts in fish and crawl up onto the land. It have a little bit of fins. It use fins as the legs. Yeah, and then when it's go in on land longer and longer, the fins start to grow nails and some toes, and start to it can able to breathe on land too. So it's gradually changes to become a completely new species. When you go back to the fish, it's completely changed, but that takes millions of years to change. They wouldn't even notice. We wouldn't even notice. If you compare to that in today's era, like of that natural selection, of that evolution, back in 1900, our dressing theme is very different. We don't have, or we cover a lot of things. And back when I saw an interview of in the British era in the 1800 and 1900. They won't wear these today's ages. Or they won't wear short skirts. They won't wear short shirts because it's too appealing. It's too appealing to the people. They were embarrassed by that. But in today's age, it's perfectly fine to wear. Sometimes they don't even wear nothing.
Okay.
Models, right? It's perfectly fine for them in today's age, but it gradually changes.
Yeah, but it didn't take millions of time. But
Yeah,
that's,
but
I mean, that's not kind of a similar to the
a
evolution
little.
though,
No,
because
it didn't
evolution
take
takes
millions.
lots of millions time
Yeah,
to
but
change completely new species.
but
But
this is
our
not
dressing
completely
style
yet.
is not completely yet.
Dressing style is not completely
Completely
yet.
yet.
But
Yeah,
it's
the
when it,
it's
in the next
just
time,
changing the style.
in the next 1,000 years, it will completely change.
Like
It will completely change. It will be robots or something. I don't know. When you
was-
compare to that, and then tell in the next 3,000 years, we came from this. Nobody will ever believe this.
but we
Because
still have records.
we have
evidence.
records. Right? If without record, nobody will believe it. What is this species? Is it like Stone Age species? They will say that. But it gradually changed. They won't even notice that we changed. That's why the
Well-
natural selection is important for the animal survival.
Yeah, I mean, if you, for another example is take a look at as a like butterfly example. Like the one butterfly is black and the other is white. So the better, you know, black butterflies, they're not easily visible, right? They can hide through the rocks, or they can hide in the forest, because forest is also a little bit dark, you know, with the trees and everything. So they have the best adaptability, you know, for survival, because they can easily escape from predators, because of their colors. You know, that's unique, and their color makes them to escape from predators. So
Like disguise with the leaves.
disguise with the leaves and everything. So but for the white butterflies, they are easily visible, so predators can hunt them easily. So for them it's harder to struggle for survival and to fight. So only a few butterflies who can survive, who can fight for that, and for that can only bring the species to adapt, but for the black butterfly, they can easily survive. But that doesn't mean that, I mean, white butterflies are weak. It's not. It's because of the environmental situations. If the environment change into like very light and snowy situations, then white butterfly has more chances to survive than black butterflies. So that's how natural selections work. You know, natural selections is basically depends on the environmental situation. Yeah, because that's according to you, that's dinosaur. Dinosaur is also, they extinct because of the environment also, right? So that's how natural selection continues. And Charles Darwin discovered this based on this another person who is also a thinker. It's like I think Malthus, Robert Malthus. He's also European thinker. So based on his saying, Charles Darwin discovered that, okay, so he didn't discover, he just connected this link. You know, he has been working for this natural selection, you know, to find a link between that. But only after he found out about that Robert Malthus, he finally connect the link between animals and the natural selection, how it works. So that's kind of a mind-blowing things. Yeah.
Yeah. So also about that, natural selection on animals is very important, because another example is also like giraffe. The giraffe used to have shorter necks when they have bushes.
Yeah.
Right? They're easy to eat from the bushes. The bushes are short, but when the bushes start to disappear and only high trees are available, the giraffes start to grow longer necks, like today's ages. So the nature itself grow to become the best survival for that. So that is quite how the nature itself already do. That if you think about, if you like coexist between the religion and these natural selection, it's also sometimes it's going in the right way, going in the same way. And I've seen a lot of scriptures of the religion that they mention that life start from water.
Yeah, all the religions agree on that one point, because water has played an important role in every religion. So but about, okay, we have kind of have evidence for the natural selections and everything animals, because we can see it and we can we can think about it because the earth is changing every
time.
time. So the natural selection is quite fit with the earth, rotating and changing. But let's talk about the humans evolution.
Humans connection.
So humans evolution is quite interesting because Charles Darwin, he once mentioned that humans and animals share a common ancestor, especially apes. Humans and apes has shared a common ancestors. So which makes humans turns into apes, because like humans, the theory is a lot misunderstood among people, because humans evolved from apes. A human came from these monkeys, that thing. So the question is like, if we evolved from monkeys, then why are there still monkeys exist today, right? So that's the question. So but none of them prove this, where human came from.
Yeah, Darwin suggests that, and then what he said it without enough evidence on the statement. Like human came from Earth. We have to.
He just made a statement and disappear.
we share a common ancestor as the ape. But scientists have already. There are many people who discover these fossil shapes that are similar to humans. Humans are the first ever human is Homo sapiens. Those species are the first recorded human species, Homo sapien species. So they find, in order to find the Homo sapien species of the evolution, we need to go back a little bit further in the back. But the back of the Homo sapien species, it should be ape. It should be ape-like, between the ape and the human. If humans came from ape, there must be a period in the middle where the apes start to grow into the human form, like one half ape and half human. It has to have these things because it has to have the middle thing, combining both. Because for the fish to the land, they going to the land, they have the middle thing. The middle thing is like half fish, half animal, half like land animal. They have legs. They can go into the water as well. They can live on land. They can walk on land too. But for the humans, they still haven't found the fossil between half monkey, half human. They haven't found it yet.
So you can't assume by saying that we came from monkeys, because it might be something else. It can be something else too. Because if, according to you, if there is a period between these apes and humans, right?
Half ape and
half apes and half human, but that's still missing. The part is literally missing. What if there is a monkey period? Like monkeys are separate animals, but humans are more of a wild animal. It's not humans yet, but they're like the very basic human being, who doesn't have language, who doesn't understand anything, like a Stone Age. So
where do they come from? That's the question.
That's the question too. Where did they came from? So if all the animals and all the life start from the water, then we can draw the conclusion by saying that humans also came from water. So that's quite easy to say that, right?
Yeah.
But
a different
humans and animals are different.
Yeah, different. And maybe it can be the humans are the different branch that came from water. Maybe there are two species in water, that one species will go into the whole animal, another species will go into another human. Well, that's just thinking. We haven't found the exact evidence of that. But the evidence we have is only the Homo sapien species evidence. We cannot find the link between that. There are many scientists that are trying to prove that they found the link. They found the half ape, half human fossil. There are many times scientists, researchers found that, but every time they found it, they have been disproved that this is not half human, half monkey. This is purely monkey, or this is purely human. There is no in between thing.
Just going back to that time.
Every time they're always trying to dig it up the past and trying to find this link, but they
always ended up in the same place.
They cannot find nothing. They can't find anything. So it draws me to the conclusions that we have found the animals link, but we haven't found the humans link. So it got me thinking that it should have the humans are not like it's not because of the evolution, just like animals. We may be coming from a different thing. Maybe we haven't found it.
Maybe there is something superior involved in there.
Maybe supernatural something. We haven't found it
like a Big Bang, because scientists they're quite weird, because they believe that universe started from the Big Bang. they have no, I mean, not enough evidence, enough proof, but they label it as a Big Bang. Universe started exploding and expanding, and then boom, this everything happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they believe that. But for the humans, they don't believe that. They don't believe. What if humans also exist like that? You know, boom, just boom, and then the humans. No. I mean, we not like a modern humans, but like
Stone
a
Age.
Stone Age humans. They started happening just like a universe.
It just came from the universe and
Yeah, just boom.
jumped down
How
to the
about that?
earth like that.
How about we don't? How about we believe in like that too? But no, scientists
It's
want
no.
proof for that. But scientists doesn't want proof for the Big Bang. So I mean,
We can't assume that humans literally jumped down from the universe.
yeah,
to
it's
the
not.
earth.
It's just a
not
saying, you know.
believable,
Yeah.
Well, the humans about the Big Bang as well. That the idea of the Big Bang, we came from the cells itself. The cell, like we have the like cell replication process as well.
Yeah.
The cell replicates. So there are many things inside the DNA. There are cytoplasm. There are chromosomes. The ribosome. Everything inside there. That's needed for survival. The cell's a living thing. That needed for survival. That cell starts to replicate into another thing that expand to become a bigger cell, or expand to become more and more cell, and form a complete organism. And at the end of the time, so the Big Bang is also the same theory, the same idea of that. They have really they call it super atom that contain everything inside, every universe that is needed, every planet, not in the planet form, but in some form that is ready to become.
Contain everything.
They're ready to become. They're waiting for it to become. When it explodes, it bang into every scatter across the universe, scatter across empty space, and becomes the planet, becomes the star, becomes comets and everything. So
yeah,
that's the same way that we have the cell. I think it is.
It's kind of
a typical example.
Yeah,
of
it's
that.
kind of the same like just just someone saying just be it and everything just happens.
Let there be it. Let there be light.
Let there be light and everything's happened. So that's why which makes me ask another questions. The questions came. It's a bit not a bit, a lot controversial among people. The question is like science and religions, can they coexist when it comes to evolution? Because about the natural selection, we have clear about this. All the religions approve that natural selection is right. It fit with the religions also, religious belief and faith, everything. But what about the human evolution? When we talk about human evolution, it always comes with modern science. There is another force, another being, another existence involved in there. So we can't separate from that. And so if we're gonna think about it, then science isn't enough to make a proof or to make a conclusion about where do we come from. The questions.
Maybe we don't have the capability, we don't have the technical things to prove it yet in this era. Maybe in the future we might be able to prove that where we came from. But I'm pretty sure that we didn't came from apes. We didn't came from animals.
Yeah.
We're totally different
species
species from animals. Totally different species. Because the way we're thinking, even as I mentioned in the last video, even the 2% difference of the DNA have a lot of difference, a massive difference, so that we cannot have the same one. Only maybe a little bit similarity, that's it. Not the same thing. They don't have they cannot think like us. The animals cannot think like us. They can feel it, they can like nurture the babies, they can teach the baby, they can teach, but they cannot think like humans. They cannot think innovation, they cannot think outside the box, they cannot think outside what we think, of what we think. So it is different for us. So in order to religion and science to coexist, I think some scientists believe that like the God created the humans and animals in different ways, but some scientists believe that we came from one thing. So that is based on what you believe to. That's subjective of how you believe it. But but we cannot make stuff up. We cannot make the evidence fake evidence. Humans didn't came from apes. We have to believe that thing, because until there is no evidence of that link in the middle, we cannot believe that humans came from ape or any other animals. Humans came from a totally different branch. We still haven't still can't explain that. It maybe involve superior power, or maybe it maybe involve something that we haven't found it yet on
Yeah.
Earth.
So that's what makes everything interesting, because there were so many philosophers in the past, and there were so many philosophers in, you know, there will be like future philosophers, but in the past none of them like none of them find this link between humans and apes, right? It's just an idea, it's just a theories, but they couldn't prove it. So if we're not gonna make the decision, but what do you think about this? Humans and the connection between humans and apes, and also the God involved in there, because it's a lot. This evolution is a lot like a twisting strings, because it's so complicated. Because it has involved a lot of things. God, as I mentioned before, God, religions involved, and science involved. So that's a mystery. We should learn more about
Yeah.
more about science, and also more about religions.
Even Darwin himself say that he is afraid that he cannot fully determine that humans came from the apes. We share the same ancestor, because he don't have enough evidence. He found many evidence in animals era, in animal kingdom, but in the humans, he himself say that he is afraid that he haven't found the evidence yet, so he cannot surely say that we have the same ancestors. So
Yeah.
even Darwin is not sure about that humans evolved from the apes. So we cannot assume that. We can never assume that. There is no single evidence of
Yeah.
that period link, the link between these. So the conclusion is always up to you guys, up to you. How would you believe it? How would you think that we came from, where we came from? But I think what I believe is that there is mathematical equation that we can came up to that. For example, like Einstein like calculated the black hole. There is evidence that the calculation and the equations is evidence. But the humans, there is no evidence. So maybe in this era, we may not find the evidence how we came from, how do we become, how do we live. So maybe in the next era, in the future, we might be able to solve this problem. But for now, we just need to stay in the mystery.
Yeah, because this is evolution, guys. It involves lots of cases and lots of problems. So I think we might have leave some ideas for you guys to think. Because that's you need to let your brain work harder a little bit to think
Yeah.
about this, what we has discussed. So I hope you guys enjoyed about this podcast. So if you like this kind of topics more, then like and subscribe.
Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.
Yes.
And don't forget to think about this stuff.
Yeah. So let's see in the next episode. See you in the next episode, guys. This is Rocket Science.
For centuries, humanity has searched for one question: where do we came from? We'll start again. For centuries, humanity has searched for one question: where do we come from? Long before laboratories, before microscopes, before DNA and genetics, there were thinkers who dared to imagine that life was changing. In ancient Greece, philosophers questioned whether humans were once connected to the sea. During the Islamic Golden Age, scholars observed animals struggling to survive, adapting to their environment, fighting for existence. And centuries later, one man would gather these scattered ideas and transform them into a theory that changed science forever. Charles Darwin.
But even today, evolution remains one of the most discussed and misunderstood topics in human history. Did humans really evolve from apes? What exactly is natural selection? And were the roots of evolutionary thinking already planted long before Darwin was born? Today, we travel through history, from ancient philosophers to groundbreaking scientific theories to the fascinating connection between humans and other livings. This is Before Darwin, the thinkers who imagined evolution first.
I'm gonna record mine again. I don't like that.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
Look, this is how you should do it. For centuries, humanity has searched for one
That's
question.
what I said.
Where did we come from? It's not where did we come from. Where did we come
What
from?
do we come from? Where do we come from?
Where did we come from? Not came.
Yeah, that's
Recorded.
again.
Cat.
Still not cat.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
ဆက်ပါလိုက်။ဟောလောက်ပဲမိနစ်30ပြီနော်20လောက်29လောက်
That's not even 1 minute. Okay, go.
ရက်ထားလား
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. I can't follow the script no more.
So welcome into
No, they say it's not like that.
You don't need to say that
You
anymore.
need.
Just introduce.
You need that. You need that. That's for every time I told you. Yeah, babe. That is not the script at all.
This is not script. I'm not following script.
It's not just. It's a slogan.
Yeah.
Slogan.